What's going on, family? Welcome back. Listen, I hope you enjoyed the first session from last week. If you did not see it, go back and check it out. It's really going to bless you. And I'm getting you ready now. This second part that we discussed, we got into some real raw conversation, right? Some real unadulterated, unbiased conversation about growing up, childhood development, mindset. I want you to really tap into this. I want you to get your pens and your paper. I want you to take some notes. I want you to share it. I want you to share it. Brother, man, baby daddy, listen, if you ain't putting them on child support, put them on Jesus support. Share this second message with as many men and women who have sons, who have husbands, who are in some kind of partnership or relationship with a man. I really believe, truly believe, this is going to help your life. I thank these men from the bottom of my heart because they really, really opened up the truthfulness of who they are to the world. I hope you like it. I hope it blesses you. Check out part 2. Let's get it.
The conversation has went from community to respect, honor to police officer, but now it goes to my brother. And I know that, I'm gonna let him share his testimony and kind of give context, but see, this is one of the reasons why I love this guy, because he does not look like where he came from at all. Because him sitting up here, and if you don't know him, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. So, bro, can you just share some light, just saying kind of similar to what he did from your path to that community to now where you are? Like, what was that transition? What you had to go through? What have you been through? And kind of where you are today?
Leave the Packers out of it. Well, my story long, but we ain't gonna go through that. But to say something to what you were saying about the Bible and this and that, I'm gonna give you an insight. I ain't gonna quote everything.
It's okay.
Because like with the organization, they have laws. They have creed, they got certain things, like in the 1 through 16 laws, one of them is not number one, but one of them is thou shalt not steal. So these organizations have the same thing. Do you know before a meeting, you got to pray to open up the meeting? It's a prayer to open up before anyone get to speaking. Whoever's in charge, or anybody can open it up, but you got to open it up with a prayer. Wow. Same as we did here today.
Wow.
But that's behind closed doors again. But that's mandatory. And everybody must learn that prayer. And no matter where you at, if you open up, you got to open up with that first. So let's get that out.
I love it.
Just insight on
I appreciate that.
But as far as my upbringing, I sort of learned the hard way. In a sense, because being in the streets, doing certain things, and what I mean by the hard way, like when a person tell you, you either gonna go 6 feet or to jail. I used to hear that a lot from my own auntie. Like, you think you're running these streets and doing this, either you gonna be in the ground or you gonna be in jail. And if you're in the ground, you can't learn the lesson. But when you go down, you're going to learn the lesson. Because inside is different from the streets. Everybody inside hear about the streets for it even, it's crazy. How that happened, like for me, I got in this situation, man, where this is crazy. I'd have been to the state penitentiary. I'd have been to the federal penitentiary.
Oh my God.
And I'm here to, talk about it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Boy.
So I'm a blessed individual.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And trust me, behind them walls is so difficult. It's hard in the streets, but it's also harder in there because you locked up with 2,300 men from all over the world. Like in the feds, they don't put you with just Chicago. Nah, you hear from people from DC, Virginia, Guatemala. I was locked up with somebody from Guatemala.
My God.
So it's it's difficult, man. You know.
How many years, bro? Can you elaborate a little bit?
Bro, I just spent some time in that, man. It's not a good thing.
No, but the only reason I ask because your mindset, man. Like people, again, going back to that assumption. Because I haven't walked your shoes, like the perception that people have, say, oh, everybody in jail or those been incarcerated, they gonna think this way, they gonna act this way. But bro, like you ain't talking about no months.
No. Nah, I ain't did no months. Nah, I ain't. Even with my state, I ain't do no months. And it was crazy because I thought I knew it all. Because when I went to the state, I was like, I went and did that little 2 years. That wasn't nothing.
My God.
I think I can outsmart them now. I didn't learn nothing. But come out and think you can outsmart them, it's just all up here. We can't outsmart them. They got resources, individuals on the inside. But to your point, when I got caught my Fed case, they gave me 10 years, 120 months.
Wow.
So it's great. When you get 10 years of the Feds, you got to do 85% of that. So I did 8 years, 3 months inside. Then you had to come out and do another 5.
Another 5?
Yeah. So because when you leave in the federal, you got to go to the halfway house.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna just like put you in the street unless you just wanted to do all your time. If you do all that time in there, you can eventually go on. But they gonna make sure that you try to transition back to the world because you've been gone. Things change. So, yeah, man, that was a down period.
What's one of the lessons, bro, that you would say you learned in those 8 years, 3 months, that you didn't learn in the 2 years in the state? Like, what was that trigger for you that now you haven't, thank God, been back to? Like you said, you went to the state, you thought you could outsmart them, and now you spent 8.5. Like, what happened in that time frame that didn't happen in the 2 years?
But me being behind bars?
Yeah, like what the mindset, like the education part, that click.
Man, the thing was, I realized all the people are disappointed.
Wow.
I ain't talking about my homies and nothing like that. I'm talking about like family, like people that really care. Like my auntie, for instance, who kept saying, you need to do this or else. But when I got into that situation, I had to think back like, man, she was right. Like, how did she know this? But one thing about it, I realized the people that I thought I was impressing gave up on me.
Wow.
The person that I wasn't trying to impress, like my auntie and mothers, and never gave up on me.
Crazy.
Never gave up. Even in my situation of going down, my mom's, my auntie at court.
Wow.
When my auntie put up to bond me out on my first case. $7,500. My auntie bought me out. The same one was saying, this gonna happen to you or this, that. But when it did, she was there for me.
Yeah.
And I was realizing that all that time, that's when I had met my then now wife during the time that my case was before my wife. But the federal, they don't come to 3-4 years after.
Right.
They wait till you get your life together and on the right track, and then here they come to disrupt it. My wife didn't have nothing to do with it. She didn't know me at the time, and when I was hitting them streets hard, but she was there for me throughout the whole bit. That's rare to find in a black woman, or any woman for that case. Going through my situation, I asked her, I said, I was facing 20, and I told her in the court, like, hey, I think you need to move on with your life. I tried everything in the book to leave arguments and everything, but she had to tell me, like, out of all this you saying, telling me I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be here to the end. And I used to be thinking to myself, like, yeah, right. She going to be gone in 5 months. But, bro, she was there throughout the whole duration. I mean, driving out to where I was. She was in Chicago. I was locked up in Kentucky. 6-hour drive for a 20, 30-minute visit.
Wow.
I mean, every visit, I had to tell her, like, you know what? I believe you. Stop coming. Because you driving 6 hours here, 6 hours back.
My God.
For 30 minutes or so.
Wow.
My brother here came. The whole family of them came. And it was like, I started realizing, like, I got people that care about me. It's time to change.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about we got to show that you care about somebody.
That's good.
Because if I didn't probably have that, I probably would have got out and went right back to the low end and did the exact same.
And that's what I wanted to ask. Like, how much of their resilience of not giving up, I guess them just believing in you, maybe seeing a side that at a point you didn't see in yourself. Because, you know, on one end, you were probably like, man, this is just my life, right? It is what it is. But for them, just to like continuing to showing up and just believing in you, like at what point in time did it trigger in your head, or clicked in your head, I should say, you know what, I'm going to make a change. And even if I'm not outside of these four walls, I'm gonna start making some sort of internal change that I can sustain my freedom once I get out.
Yeah. So that's a good thing, because one day me and my wife was talking on the phone, and I was thinking before then, because she came up with my auntie, which I call my auntie Helen, which is my auntie, my cousin Neil, the kids. It was like a bunch of them. And I think it was my anniversary or something, and they all came, and you don't only could get so many visitors in. I don't know what they did or who they argued with, but when I walked in the visiting room, it was like kids and all. And I looked at them and said, they coming all the way to this to prove to me that they care. Now, am I gonna let them down? And right then I said, I got somebody who I can come home to. Yeah. Somebody who I'm starting to feel different. I ain't starting to have to feel macho all the time. I feel different because they vulnerable. I want to be a little vulnerable sometimes, but I can't be vulnerable around certain individuals. Right. But I could be myself around them. And I was like, I got to change. I got to make a difference within me. So I got back in my cell. When I went back, I called my wife. I said, I want to tell you my story from beginning to end. Because me and her never had to talk about me coming up, me being in the organization, me doing this and that. And that's how I wrote a book. I'm an author also. I got a couple of books.
What's the title of your book?
My first title was Born to Be a Gangster, because that's what I was. And the stuff I went through, I actually believe that's what I was born to be.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And the second one is Certified Gangster. So that was in my head of being a gangster all my life.
Wow.
Until my wife and our family just started showing me different. I didn't have to be a gangster with them. I didn't have to take over everything. I didn't have to be in command all the time.
And you didn't have a problem with not being, because you're so used to being in command? And how was that adjustment period, especially getting married? Like, married, then you went, for 8.5 away from your wife. So
yeah,
tell me about that.
I didn't have a problem with it, but because, like you say, she had to show me that you don't have to do this all the time. Yeah. That I can do some of this sometimes too. I can take some of this weight off you. I can help do that. You don't have to do it. I know you're the man of the house, yeah, but let me take a load off of you. You know what I'm saying? I never had that. I never had somebody want to do something for me.
Right.
I'm always the person doing something for somebody. My whole entire family. Yeah. Call him in. He'll get it done. Somebody got locked up. He fighting his girlfriend. Call him in to bond him out. And I was doing this, doing that. Who got into it? Oh, I'm on my way over there. But I never had nobody be like, no, I'm coming over to you. What's going on? Let me help you out. You always helping somebody. It's time for you to get some help.
That's good. You had something you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I only came so Keanu wouldn't rap by herself.
Didn't like him at all.
I didn't like him at all.
He can say that every time I call her. Hey, bro, I need you. I'm on my way. I'm doing this. I'm coming. I say, yeah, okay.
You know what's crazy? You were talking about it earlier, like how you said, all it takes is, I love how you put it, a poisonous of goodness into one apple, and then let the rest, and building on the community, like I've met Pastor Jason here about 10 years ago, and at an organization, and you know, we became really close. And one thing about me growing up, like our family, my mom, my brother and sisters, like we were very ostracized from our other family, cousins, aunts, uncles. So when I met him, and he tell me like they had family reunions, and I finally got to go to one. And I was like, oh well, like what it like honestly, it really created a different experience for me, and it gave me a huge outlook as well.
I don't think you missed 1/6.
I've been married ever since. I'm glad he said I'm in. I'm glad he said I'm in, so I can show. I pay my dues too. But it was crazy how Kiana's love for you, right, and then the people who loved her, and that love was just like projected on you. And to see your transformation, that like I want to go ahead and just give you your flowers now, because most men don't even like.
That's right.
Because I mean, even in the church, we're so in jail of our own stubbornness, pride, and we can't escape it.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, we're living this in an outside world, but yet in bondage mentally and internally. So I just think like really your story, man, is just great. And yeah, I just want to just really let you know how much I respect you, and I've seen just progress and transition and transformation happen in your life, and it's just kudos, bro.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And to that point, man, you said something that's very profound, giving men flowers, because we always talk about giving women flowers, right? That's just the norm of the culture. But truthfully, men deserve flowers, in the translation metaphorically, applause, celebration, praise, because like you didn't have to choose that. Like I know that the resiliency of love, and I believe in the Bible and Luther that the power of love can change, you know, your life. And I believe the resiliency of love really impacted you. But still, you could have rebelled. Like you could have, you know, said, well, I tried, or, you know, yeah, they did it, but I'm born to be a gangster. But you fought, bro. Like mentally, you fought. How hard? And Jerome, I'm gonna ask you the same question. So think about it after, bro. How hard was it to transition in your mindset after you took that next step in your life from where you was to where you are now? How hard was that mental transition for you?
Well, it was hard because, man, when I was going through the transition, I was in a 4x4 cell. I mean, you could touch the walls, you stretch out your arm. And I had to think back, like being in the organization, like all these guys that I done been there for, been in situations with, that won my situation and stuff like that. Where were they? You know what I'm saying? They wasn't there. And I thought they was everything to me, like family. But sometimes God will show you, that's why I probably was put in that situation to show like you dependent on the wrong people.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the people that you should be showing praise to, because where everybody at.
So when did you let go of that anger though? Because it sounded like were you angry? I don't want to assume. Were you?
Of course, man. When you put in work for people the way I did and do stuff for people, man, and you don't hit nothing. Even my wife reach out and say, hey, my husband or this or that. Or if you see my wife, you don't, oh man, how your husband doing? Like, wow, that's disrespectful to me. What you mean? You can reach me.
Right.
You know, so I looked at it like, man, it was hard, bro. But I had to fight it, and for the simple reason, it was even tougher because when I got home, I had to go back to Chicago.
Yeah. Go
back to around the same individuals and put on this, yeah, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Knowing this ain't really where I want to be. This ain't really what I want to do no more.
So they put the halfway house back where you was?
Yeah, see, wherever you catch your case at, you got to transition back there.
Wow.
You can transfer to somewhere, but wherever you transfer to got to accept you. And just say like Texas. My case was a heroin case. and I had a bodily harm case, so they were saying like I was a violent type person from my history. So if it's just like your household, if you knew about me, you wouldn't want me to come in your household. Man, this dude is violent. I wouldn't want him around my wife and kids. That's how a state could be. They gotta know everything about you, your record, everything, and they gonna say, do you want to accept? And that state could be like, oh no, we don't want nobody else like. We trying to get rid of individuals like him. Why would we accept him and take responsibility for this person knowing, because I'm on federal parole? No, we don't want him. You got to send him back to where you come from. So you're gonna have to go back to where you come from.
It's just crazy. I know you're gonna answer too, but it's how the system.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
The system thinks it'll be more beneficial to put you back into a place that factored into your craziness in the first place.
Come on here and expect you to change. So that's double kudos. Like I had to overcome the imprisonment, plus I got to overcome going back into the same environment that created this mindset, this man. I'll stop right there.
You see how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the environment, now here coming everybody that used to be there. Oh, my man back. He home. He this, he that. Everybody want to show you love and this, that. Where was all this when I was gone? And then the people that was there for you, you got a choice to make.
Yeah.
Because these my homies I grew up with, but this is who was there and down.
Wow.
But it was a period of time, and you thinking they've been there all your life. You got to make a decision.
And the ones that were down weren't even in the organization. That's the divide, the great divide.
I lost a lot of friends like that because I'm gonna choose my wife every time over any of them.
Yeah, we know that.
So
and I love that about you.
It is what it is, man. And what was I blessed at? My wife was planning to leave Chicago because she must have knew if he come back here and get back into this situation, it could blow up again. And she wasn't planning on having that. And I knew she wasn't going to be there if that would have happened. And she already been through too much because she did 8 years, 5 months also.
That's right. That's right.
Because
so
the same
imprisonment you got. Come on.
Through the same
Y'all better catch that one, boy.
She was in prison. She just wasn't inside. She was outside.
Right. Yeah. Oh, God. So deliverance wasn't just for you. It was for those connected to you as well.
Exactly.
Lord have mercy. Bro, for you, mindset, transition. Like, I know, and I think sometimes we have that stigma to where we think just because you're a police officer, it was easy, he's going to do something, but it wasn't. Like, I talked to you, and I remember actually you calling me, but one of the first things that, and I'm not going to get into details, kind of traumatic that you saw, and I prayed, and we kind of went through that. Like, the mindset, though, the transition of mentality from the hood to losing my brother, to going into some organizations that's not family, but I still have to be the positive roach, if I could use that. I still have to be, how was that mental transition for you? And, tell me a little bit about how your mind kind of went through those cycles to get to where you are now.
But before you do answer all that, I want to say, too, also, that I really appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because you done came through in the clutch in a lot of situations with me. You know what I'm saying? And you still do to this day, like all kinds of situations. My brother is the one drove me from Chicago to Texas to do my new start. He drove he came there for one, helped me move my whole house and drove me all the way here. But not that, it's just numerous of things that I respect out of Maine, you know what I'm saying? As far as how he treat his kids, how his kids respect me, it's just a whole lot. And I've been knowing
fat? Okay.
I've been knowing him before. Fat, that's my man. I've been knowing him before he, turned to a cop, and it ain't make me look at him no different because I know they all got a job to do. I got a few cousins that's officers, and they don't do nothing special for me, but I respect them because of the decision they make.
Right.
We might not understand it, we might not believe it, but I also think that they do things to help us for
Absolutely.
the community, because we need somebody to do it.
That's
you know?
right.
So I appreciate you, bro, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. Man, as far as the mindset,
Yeah.
transition from civilian to police, it wasn't hard. What's hard is when you get in there, turning it off when you get home. That has been the hardest, and it still is. That's the hardest thing to do, because my wife and kids, they're not the people I deal with. Bro ain't the people I deal with. Y'all not the people I deal with. It's super hard to turn it off, especially when you have a shift where you done been in the fight, you had to tase somebody, you got into pursuits, burglaries, you had to go serve a violent warrant, child sexual assault, regular sexual assault. It's so hard to turn it off when you get home. And I hope you watching whenever they post this. I apologize to my wife for any time I come home and I got an attitude, because she didn't give me the attitude. All they want to do is, daddy's home.
Yeah.
Love on me. So I have to apologize publicly for that. But that mindset, turning that off, it's so hard. It's hard to do, because I take my car home and it's parked in my driveway. So now I'm even more cautious when I'm at home versus when I'm out on the street, because now the people that I really have to look out for, I'm with them. So I can do it at times, but it's still there. That's probably why, me personally, that's probably why I be stressed a lot, or I get migraines a lot, is because that hypervigilance is what they call it. It's hard to turn it off, because I'm not retired yet, so I have to stay sharp. I have to know my surroundings at all times. And yeah, it probably get on my wife's nerve, but
You do.
that's just how I'm wired now.
Yeah.
It's that, I don't know, man. Some wires got crossed in there, and now it's like that guy doing something wrong. Like I don't get me wrong, I don't profile people at all. One, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Two, that's just not me.
Yeah.
But will I profile a vehicle? Absolutely. Like I just watch the vehicle, and if they turn down this street, or if they driving like this, okay, that car's up to no good. And I can be in my personal vehicle doing that. And even when I'm talking to my kids, I be trying to turn my investigative skills off.
Yeah.
Because they don't like talking to me.
I'm sure.
Like when they in trouble, they don't like talking to me, because I'm gonna figure out the truth. Like I'm gonna get statements from everybody.
Fingerprints, cereal box,
Separate rooms with the light swinging. You come in here.
I got jumper cable.
Fat didn't do it.
That's all you gonna say. That's your man's.
But yeah, man, it's they don't like it, because they know if I'm asking them something, I already know the answer to it. But one, I'm trying to dig a little deeper, and yeah, they just, it's like, okay, I did it. You know, they fess up. But even when I'm just sitting there watching TV, And yeah, my wife don't like to watch any kind of cop shows. Any kind of cop shows with me, because I'm gonna analyze it to death. It's hard to turn that switch off. Right now, I don't know how. I try to. Especially when I get my long days off. That's when I can unwind. But is it off? Nah, it's like hovering in the middle. Yeah. Because I need to be able to flip it all the way on at any time.
And to be honest, first of all, I respect what you do on and off the force, because you come here and as your pastor, I'm just naturally safe when you're here, right? I'm loose. Like today, I'm flipping over tables and stuff. But no, it's your nature to protect. So I do appreciate that. What I was going to say, I don't know necessarily if you're supposed to turn it off, and I say that to say because I think not so much the title, but just the nature of who you are as a protector. You've always been a protector. You've been a protector since you used to get beat up, and then you learned how to beat everybody else up. And since you're on the football field, right? Since when you all of a sudden one summer you was my little cousin, next summer you was my great big cousin. Like you've always been a protector of everybody. So that's your nature. I don't think, and going biblically, I don't think God necessarily wants to turn it off. That's why he tells Peter and John and James, you are fishers of fish. Now I'm going to make you fishers of men, because I don't want you to turn that off. I'm just going to use it for my glory. And running the fruits of the Spirit is self-control, not omission of control. And to control it is actually more glorifying to God than to forget it. So I think you're supposed to have it. But I will say this, and I'll say it publicly, man. I think you do an outstanding job at being as good as you know how to your family. What I mean by that is, the more you learn, the more you try to apply. And you'll be the first to confess you don't know everything. You know, you're still learning, you're still growing. But like, for instance, like now, when you get that moment where you say, you know, I'm thinking back and I know I've been hard, probably last week or two or whatever, I've been doing some things, let me apologize. See, you one of those who, when you get it, you don't mind applying it. I appreciate it. I appreciate that about you, and that shows nothing but your best interest, your intent, which is what God judges our motives. And we don't always get our actions right. None of us. All of us are flawed, sinful. You know, none of us are perfect, but we're all working. We're work in progress. The key to it is, can you admit? Can I admit when I missed the mark, when I made a mistake? Well, I'm going to keep trying to belabor a point that's incorrect or that's invalid just to prove that I'm right, versus knowing that what I'm doing is not, and I need to change and adapt. So I do appreciate that about you, and I'm gonna stop it right here because we can talk forever.
Yeah, can I just one thing? One last thing.
What? Ask who?
No, I just want to say something to
go
like,
ahead.
you know, at Jerome, because I think it's one thing that we all have in common, because especially your line of your field, right? It has to do with a lot with right and wrong, good and bad. And sometimes when I know what you're talking about, like I say, God ain't trying to take none of that away from you. Like your analytical mind, your protective nature, like that's who you are. He didn't call you to be a cop, but he gave you the ability to be a cop. Right. But I think more than anything, man, it's allowing ourselves to be loved. And it's we don't have to add any awkward, weird pauses when we say that, because it's us four men here talking about it. But all of us have been like, bro, you came out of the same city they did.
I did.
And now you pastoring people, like, shepherding, like, because we were just all love. Like, we were all loved through our circumstances, just loved in general, unconditional love. Like, it wasn't where we're good or bad. Like, all of us here were just loved.
That's right.
And that's what keeps us going, man. Like, kids, when you come home, it wasn't about good day or bad day, just the fact that, hey, you know what, you're loved through this day.
Yeah.
And, just wanted to share that with you, man, because I trust me, I know how the mind can go, and like you're trying to not to talk to your family like they're co-workers of mine, right? So I get it, man, but we're loved.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
Any final thoughts for you, bro? Go ahead.
Nah, all I'm gonna say is what's crazy and what's believable is that we all had different paths. And we know who gave us that path. It wasn't for me to walk in the path you was in, or he was in, or to become a cop a man was in. My journey was my journey. His journey was his, yours. But we all ended up in the same house.
That's right.
We all took a different path and ended up right here today. So that's a blessing, man.
That's good.
Yeah, both of y'all. So.
Amen. Final thoughts for you, bro.
Like you said, it's the fact that we have to be loved or we wanted to be loved, or somebody loved us. Because now I will share this one last thing. I don't know if y'all know, but 2021, I was shot at. It took a round to the vehicle, but and all of that, I was so calm. Like, I was calm because, one, I knew I had 6 people to go back home to, and 2, just once you said, just thinking about that now, yeah, somebody loves me, so I had to go back. But yeah.
And that somebody, I'm not
I
gonna,
was here to say that. I hope the wife don't see that. Now she finna force you to quit.
yes, I knew it. I prayed, but I didn't want to.
You ain't tell me that?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He didn't tell anybody.
Here we go. Right.
I don't know if y'all knew.
We definitely stopped it right here. This is the end of this session. Before we get some in trouble,
He might not be a top
Ghost will run out the door and go call it. Baby, whatever they say, I didn't know about it.
She watch y'all all the time.
Oh,
so
God.
Be calling me like,
Hey, go see if she outside.
Listen.
I think I did it.
And not just people love, but God's love, man. God love each and every one of us. I love you guys. I love all of you, man. These are my brothers. I just want to put it out there. Please think twice if you're going to mess with the pastor. I got people on both sides of the fence. No, man, but I honor these men. I love them. They honor and respect me. And we there for each other. Like, he calls me. I can't even tell you, like, all these, I talk to these guys regularly, and I love y'all, man. I respect you. I honor you. You guys make me proud. You truly do, man. And thank you for being my brothers. Thank you for being on this King's Men message, and thank you for sharing your life with the world. We love you. God bless you. We out of here.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I really hope that this blessed you. I hope that you got something from it. I want you to understand that we cannot be world changers if the only thing we are world talkers. We got to be world listeners. I have to listen to people from different parts of the world, from different cultures and different backgrounds, if I want to make a significant impact in their world. God gave us 2 ears for a reason, 1 mouth to do double the listening, right? But not just physically, spiritually. The Bible says faith coming by hearing. So that means your faith should be double the size of your speaking. I'm going to say it again. Your faith should be double the size of your speaking. That when you speak something, you should have double the faith that it's going to happen. That's why we have 2 ears to hear. And I hope that you heard what was spoken today. I hope it blessed you. I hope you take it with you. I hope you share it with somebody. I really hope that it changes somebody's life. Even if it's 1, God will leave the 99 for the 1. And so will we. We love you. We thank God for you. See you next week in the War Room.